the last time I looked at VRA, perhaps last week, we identified that this origin line, this gray line here, and the dotted gray line below are the key things to be looking at, in addition to a couple of EMAs, maybe some structural horizontals, which we'll cover here. So in this Verasity Price Analysis portion, I am going to show you what you would want on your chart to essentially give you the bumpers that price will interact with, right? And in between the bumpers, it's just coloring between the lines like in a kid's coloring book. And then with those bumpers, it'll give you the idea, it'll give you specific things to look for when you start getting an edge for a breakout to the upside or a breakdown to touch one of these gray lines here, right? But until then, it looks like it might just chop sideways, so let's go identify what those levels are. And the last time we looked at this, you know, it was going down as there was some South Korea partnership news, and I was letting folks know the chart is saying that people are not reacting to this, and still it hasn't, you know, maybe off the lows it had at least, 20% move, but it's actually not bad. All right, so looking left, let's do structural first. Origin line here, origin line here. Okay, so it's not necessarily structural analysis, but might want to try to make these two lines on your chart as best you can. As close, as close to as you can. All right, let me zoom out. So it kind of looks like that. And you really just need to deal with this line and this line because all the other ones are out of play. Like none of the other lines are going to be touched probably for months. All right, or over a month and a half. Okay, now, so let's assume we are dealing with some type of range now, all right? And until it breaks out of that, so I haven't identified it yet, even though that might be it, but until it breaks out of that, it won't hit this line and it won't hit this line. And until it breaks out, it's just going to chop around, which honestly is what it's doing right now. So let's try to identify what this is. What is stopping it? So it got, is it the daily 21? So that's the daily 10. Honestly, it looks like it, man. It does, honestly, it looks like it's going to go to the weekly 10. So what I'm looking at, it looks like it's going to keep going up. If Bitcoin, honestly, right now, if Bitcoin does not start tanking below 19.4, which is, so if you're a Verasity fan, you need to go to Bitcoin and mark off the level about 19,360, because that is the monthly open for October. So as long as Bitcoin's above there, Verasity has a good chance to make this the move. Honestly, it's got a probability. It looks like it's going to go hit it. But when Bitcoin goes, the month flips red of October, that's your alert to say, okay, this probably ain't going to happen. So you probably need Bitcoin on your analysis of Verasity, and you probably just need one line. So as long as Bitcoin's above there, right, I think this looks like it's getting ready to happen. Let me show you why. So yeah, I'm actually small term time frame bullish on this. Micro time frame, I would say it wants to pull back and maybe hit the daily 10. So what I would use, I wouldn't even use much structure here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of structure to use. So I would just use EMAs right now. I would throw on, this orange line is the 1 hour 200 EMA. And again, I'm on the 12-hour chart. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. All right. So I have it on the 1 hour 200 EMA, even though I'm on the 15-minute chart, and I'm using what's called MTF EMA indicator, so I can have a 1 hour EMA on here. And then this is the daily 21. So you want these two things on your chart for Verasity, and you want the weekly 10 EMA, because this might as well serve as the origin line, really. Those three EMAs you need on your chart if you're going to be playing this. Literally, this is going to be the most badass guide you can have. All right. If price goes below the daily 21 or the yellow, then it's going to come here. It has nowhere else to stop. Okay, so if it breaks below there, this is where it's going. It'll probably bounce to some degree. Is it guaranteed to stay above there? No. But as of now, it likely would. And as of now, it actually kind of looks like it'll stay above here. But if Bitcoin wants to leg down and toy with its own daily 10, which is a little bit lower, then Verasity might as well. But I would still say going up to the weekly 10 still looks probable, as long as Verasity stays over the daily 10 EMA, which is the same thing as the 1 hour 200. That's the same. It's the same thing on assets that trade 24/7, 365. On markets that close, the 1 hour 200 does not equate to the daily 10, but on 24/7, 365 assets, it does. And I just like it better because it's smoother when I'm on really small time frames. All right. So as long as it's above here, I think honestly the move up to the weekly 10 looks probable. This looks pretty good because it's going to create a bullish cross. So this crossing above here is a bullish cross. It's going to get continuation, and it could easily 0047. Yeah, and once price goes below this EMA, the 1 hour 200 EMA, and uses as resistance, that's when this is no longer probable, and the probabilities flip. So if you're above the daily 21, you have a strong probability that over the next 5-10 days, you have a strong edge that this weekly 10 will be hit. The probabilities change when you come down here. Let's say this is 65% chance of continuation up here. But once it comes down to this line, it might be 55% chance, but it's still probable. But it's not as probable as it was up here. Does that make sense? So these are when probabilities start changing. When it becomes less than 50% likely that this will be hit, that moment is when not just the wick below, but when this is used as resistance, even on the 5-minute candles. You see 5-minute candles bumping, then going down, bumping, then going down on this orange line. That's when it's improbable that this will be hit, and you lose your edge to the upside. And really, honestly, this is because the weekly 10 EMA is right there, you might not even need any origin lines right now. I might take that back. You probably just need three EMAs, MTF EMAs, so you can use, you could be on the small candles, like 5 minutes, and still see these larger EMAs. But honestly, Verasity looks like a good asset to be trading right now because it's volatile and it's predictable. This would be good for spot trade too. I might try this, especially if it hits the daily 10. It's a pretty good setup, assuming Bitcoin stays over the October monthly open or the month stays green, and that's around 19,350, around there. So you need Bitcoin, that one line on your chart, set an alert. If you're a Verasity fan trading this, if that alert goes off, that means, even if Verasity is above here, I would still probably kind of start forgetting about this being hit. Makes sense? It might start bailing on your plans or wiggling out, that kind of stuff. So these 3 EMAs plus one line on Bitcoin, that's all you need. That's Verasity.